And hello, everybody. Welcome back to Sharing Your Journeys. I am so psyched to be here because it's been ages since I've done an episode, and we have a new friend on here, Zach from the USA, who has agreed to come on. So I'm super excited. So Zach, without me kind of babbling on about how excited I am about this, let's get going. So, please tell me how and when did your hosiery journey start and how's it going and everything in between?
Well, it started, I would say, like my first vivid memory of hosiery was I was in first grade, and I remember my first grade teacher wearing like these opaque white tights. And I'm like,
Oh,
I was born in like the late '80s, so like I grew up in the '90s, like when that was still like fashion here
mm,
in the US. And that was my first vivid memory. And I was always like a texture sensitive person. Like I always loved like soft, appealing textures. Like even to this day, like I only buy like certain brand shirts, like certain brand shorts and stuff, just because
yeah.
I love like I'm very tactile, love the way things feel on my skin. And I just remember like seeing those tights, and I was like, I bet those like I wonder what those feel like. And then I felt like a pair of my mom's, and then I was like instantly hooked because I loved just the sensation and the feeling of like pantyhose and tights, and it was just like, oh wow, this is it. Just something clicked, and it was like it wasn't. I know some people have like a sexual thing, but it was just like I love the feeling, the tactile feeling of like comfort, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. That
Yeah.
is incredible. So it started from a very early age then.
Yes, very early. And then like I remember I don't know if like in the UK, but like here in the US we used to have department stores, and they would have like massive hosiery sections, and they would have like
Mm.
these little like cutouts of like a leg, like 12 inches of a leg, like so you could see all the different shades. And I remember like as a kid like feeling all those with my fingers, and like just loving that sensation, and just like being obsessed with that smooth nylon feel.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear that. I hear that. Yeah, we have the same thing here. Like, so, yeah, and it is a variety of leg models, whether it be like short, cutie little ones, or they're
Yeah.
like the really long ones where you're like, wow,
Yeah.
I could just stare at you all day.
Yeah. And now it's like you go into a store and there's like a pair of pantyhose, and that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I hear that. I hear that. So, what was it like growing up, with that like addiction's kind of like the wrong word to use. I don't know why that came into my head
Yeah.
then, but growing up with hosiery, like did you ever wear when you was younger? And if you did, was it hidden? Was it quite open? Like how was that experience?
Well, always like after I felt them that like first few times, I was like, I became obsessed with that feeling. Then I tried on a few pairs of my mom's, and then like whenever, and it was always in secret because it was like I live in the southern U.S., like specifically like North Carolina. So it's like
Okay.
very, we're in like for those that aren't familiar, like it's called the Bible Belt of the U.S. So it's like the southern states, like another term is like Bible Belt because there's like a church literally on every corner. So everybody grew up with like
Oh,
that
okay.
super conservative, that whole, and that's how I was raised. So like there's great things about it, and I won't talk bad about it because that's how like that made me who I am today. But
Mm,
like there's that whole culture, right? So anything out of that norm is kind of frowned upon. So everything was in secret. And it was like if I
get
like
you.
once I started driving, I would go to stores, but I would go to stores like I would drive 30 minutes out of the way where I knew like none of my friends like family were, and like go to a store then like late at night or like early in the morning when they would first open up, and like buy a few pairs. And then like self checkout was a savior once that became a thing, because then I could like run
Yeah.
6 o'clock in the morning, go run and buy a bunch of pairs, and then like throw them in a bag real quick, and then like run out, and nobody would ever know. So it was always in secret, until probably like 6 years ago is when it finally I was like, this enough's enough,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh
So
wow. And how's it been going from, because I know obviously everybody has a different experience. So I don't want to kind of brush everyone with the same kind of thing, but what was it like going from hidden and secretive to actually like, oh my God, I'm owning this and I'm going to be quite like loud and proud about it.
um it was really scary. Like I would and even like when I first started being like open about it, it wasn't even being open with like wearing out in public. It was being actually like acknowledging the fact that I enjoy to wear like wearing pantyhose and wearing tights, and actually telling like a partner or telling like a close friend, or if someone not wearing like wearing them underneath pants but not wearing socks, and nobody, like if I had to adjust my shoe, like nobody would see, like then I just started like, okay, if I just,
Yeah.
who's gonna care if I'm wearing a pair of tights underneath pants, like right, and I have to tie my shoe, like nobody's gonna say anything. And it was like slowly those slow moments of like acknowledging that, and like it's okay, it's not different, it is a little different, but it's not weird, it's nothing that's not normal and shouldn't be accepted.
Yeah. No, I 100% get that actually. And so from there, um, when did you start kind of, I mean, if you, I mean, I don't know if you have
Yeah,
or haven't already, but have you started wearing out a lot more? Like, because obviously I was gonna say, like, I love your outfit. I love the way you
yeah,
paired your outfit today. And is that something that you would now wear out and about, or is it still quite, no, actually, it's more kind of for me and the comfort of my own home, and I just prefer that kind of thing? Or is it, have you taken those next steps where it is actually I want to kind of be in public with that?
yeah. Now it's kind of, I would say like a mix between the two, depending on like, again, like being in the Bible Belt, right? Like, and I still live in the town that I grew up in. Like, so I live 30 minutes away from the majority of my family, friends that I've had, like everybody I went to school with, like we all went to college together. Like like I live in a large city, but it's a small town within a large city, if that makes sense. Like we're like a
Yeah.
know a lot of people, and I literally go everywhere I go, I see someone I know. So I'm like, in one sense, I'm very cautious of like, okay, what is this person going to think? But at the same time, I'm like, who cares, right? Like, it's a
Mm.
piece of clothing, and so I do wear openly. I wear out like the outfit I'm wearing now. Like I went out this morning and ran some errands, and like, you know, went and did some things I needed to do, and it didn't bother me. Like it's fine. But then like there are other times where if I'm going to like a certain setting with like I know certain family members that are like super judgmental, not just about, excuse me, not just about like tights, but just in general, I'll
Mm.
maybe wear under the pants or not wear at all, just because I know how they feel about things in general, and it's more of like me show, because they're older, and like showing them respect as like an older person, and like it's not worth the discussion or the judgment,
Mm.
you know. But yeah,
Yeah.
majority of the time now, it's like I'll wear out like the pictures I sent you, like all those are outfits I wore out to like go to dinner with friends, or like go like on a date, or go, go do whatever, like go to the doctor, go like just go anywhere around town, go grocery shopping. Like I wear them out. I'd say 75% of the time now.
Wow, that is incredible. I'm really happy to hear that. You did mention, I'm going to pick on it. You did mention about going on dates dressing
Yeah.
like that. And I wanted to, because obviously this is always an interesting topic with a lot of people. And I know obviously, especially the audience, they're always very, very intrigued with dating and how, like encountering women and what they kind of say and do and XYZ. And I was going to say, what's how has dating been like wearing hosiery, especially if you're going to go for the first time, for instance, if you're going to wear the outfit that you're wearing today, meeting someone, like how does that all go and how has that been for you?
Well, there's like more to the dating story that we'll have to. That's a longer story.
Okay.
Um, but I'm recently out of a long term. Like I'm recently getting out of a marriage was a long term marriage, and that was like that was kind of part of the genesis of me being like, okay, with a next partner or whoever I'm with, I need to be open and upfront and honest from the get go, from day one of like, hey,
Mm,
this is something I need to wear. I enjoy wearing. You have to be okay with that and accept that, or this isn't going to work. And it's not something I have to do like every day or wear all the time, but I want to be upfront and honest. I'm like, hey, this is something I enjoy, so it is different. Hope like you need to be okay with that. So I've been if I meet someone or text someone, get to know them, like it's an early conversation of like, hey, this is something I enjoy wearing, and also like online dating, like I'll post a picture like that has me in tights on it, right? It
Mm,
might like a pair of sheer nudes that like you can't really like if you're just scrolling, right, you won't necessarily see it, but if you like stop and look, you'd be able to tell. That way,
mm,
it's out there open and in like and being honest with everyone and being upfront about it is the big thing. Like, because it
mm.
can be like an issue for certain people or something that people are uncomfortable with, which is fair. Like, it's fine. Like, there are things I'm uncomfortable with, right? Like in a relationship. So how can I judge someone for being uncomfortable with how I present myself? If it's not for you, it's not for you.
Yeah. No, I hear that. And do you know, I love that. That really made me smile because it's the advice that I give to a lot of people actually is especially when whether they're coming out of a of a long-term relationship, marriage, whatever it may be, or if they're kind of going onto the dating scene just after not having a partner, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
That's one thing I always say is just be yourself, be upfront,
Yes.
be honest, because a lot of women respect that. And the way you just said it, it was like wow. Oh my God. Like, not like you've got it or anything, but it is just like, that's totally, like for me, like that's totally the way to go. Because if I was in that position where I'm like, I'm meeting somebody, I'd rather somebody be upfront and honest and be like, actually, this is a part of me. This is what I
Yeah.
love and I really enjoy. And if you're not cool with that, that's fine. But if you are, I would like to, continue with that kind of thing. And it is like being upfront and honest is especially when it comes to something like this, because I always find, depending on where you are in the world, there are places where they do accept, like for instance, being in London, central London,
Yeah.
any kind of fashion flies. No one bats an eyelid kind of thing. Whereas I know certain parts in the UK, especially when they're quite rural, or they've grown up a certain way, like whether they be Catholic or however, they don't, it's not really a done thing. So you can understand the fact that it could be very, very hard. So it is just, it's really lovely to hear. It's just so nice to hear. It's like, oh my God, yay. But okay, so I will say here,
Yeah.
for everyone who's watching and listening, the fact that we will definitely be having a part two and delving into the whole dating part, because you said it was going to be a really long topic. And actually,
Yeah.
I think it'll be a really good, interesting one to delve into. So for 100%, you're coming back on for part two.
Yeah.
We are going to make the part two happen. I'm not even going to be like, if you would like to see one. No, no,
Yeah.
no. Um, but no, it's nice the fact that you have that take because, and I say that because, like I said, a lot of people that I speak to, they're very, but I don't want to scare a woman away, but I don't want to be too upfront and I don't want to be too honest, but I'm not too sure. And I understand everybody is very, very different. There are a lot of different personalities. Everyone wears for whatever reason as well. And there's some people who are still quite shy, still quite nervous, just wear at home versus they're very loud and proud. And I think it's understanding the fact that it's no matter where you are, it's okay. But I think especially when you're going to introduce not really introduce but kind of meet somebody or want to actually settle down with someone or find somebody and wearing hosiery is a very like important part of you. It is, I find it's very like, well actually I'm not gonna hold that back because I'm meeting somebody. I want someone to meet the authentic me, the true me, rather than, well, I've got to hide it until I think it's ready and time to say it. And then because I can imagine the other person be like, well, why didn't you just tell me before? If that's such a big deal, why would you hide that?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but
And
no,
it's one of those things of like I'm also like I'm a huge sports fan. Like I love hockey, I love college football,
mm,
I love those things. So it's like that's also a part of my life. So it's like I look at it the same way. It's like this is just a separate interest that I have of hey, this is also a part of my life. I'm also a huge
mm,
sports fan. I like you have to be okay with that. And this is just another like to me just another notch of like it's just something else that is there and if you're not uncomfortable if you're not cool with it, you're not cool with it. Like a lot of people don't like hockey. They don't like sports. So that's okay
yeah,
too. Like it's just, you know, there
yeah.
there's someone out there for everyone. It's just being your true authentic self to find that right person.
100%. 100%. I totally agree with that. So I want to like spin things just because it's kind of I should have asked it before, but I've only just remembered it now. So you mentioned about like textures and the smoothness, and there's certain like obviously qualities and brands that you would wear. Um, I did want to ask, what are some of the hosiery brands that you've found that really hit that spot for you?
For me, my all time favorite brand, I think it's like Price. Like they have a lot
Mm,
of wide color selection. So I like more the opaque, like semi opaque to opaque tights. Like that's what I feel most comfortable wearing.
mm,
And that's what I've found like is easiest for me to accessorize with. I really love snag tights. They're out of the UK. Um,
yeah.
they have like I don't know, it's like 80 different colors and patterns and stuff. And also like I'm a larger guy. I'm like 5'10". Like I'm taller, but I'm also like I'm a big guy, and so like the comfort that's a hard thing for me to find
Mm,
tights that fit. Like if they're tall enough, they're not made for like my size. But also like I like really like Label. They're a really good brand. I like their seamless. Um,
mm,
so those are probably the two brands I stick to the most. Um, just because I know like their sizing, how it's gonna fit, how it's gonna feel. And again, like I'm like I buy the same kind of shirts. I've bought Target shirts because I love the way they feel. So it's kind of the same.
yeah.
I know how these tights feel. I know that like I don't have to worry. If like a pair is going to be weird or this is going to be wonky,
Mm.
right? Like I already know like how everything's going to fit and feel.
Yeah, no, 100% get that. I totally get that. As much as I kind of review all sorts of
Yeah,
brands and everything, I think like there's still some brands where it's like, no, you're my go-to. If I wanted just a reliable pair that I know it will just hit all those spots for me, I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna go to you kind of thing. So I totally get that. I
yeah,
totally get that,
yeah. And like
to
I
be
do like
fair.
their brands. It's a matter of like you know functionality, but then like pride,
Mm,
having the extra income, and all those things add up. So it's like, do I want to like spend that money on a new brand and experiment, or do I just like buy the tried and true
mm.
kind of thing?
Yeah, no, I hear that. I hear that. At the end of the day, a hosiery, it's yeah, I think it is. You can get such a range from like really cheap and cheerful to like, oh my God, how much? Um, yeah, honestly, it's incredible, and I think you are right. I think it's especially like when you are a massive hosiery wearer, and it's like I've spoken to so many where like you've got like hundreds of pairs, if not thousands of pairs,
Yeah,
and you're just a bit like I can't keep forking out. For instance, on Wolford, I can't
yeah,
keep buying Wolford all the time and breaking the bank, kind of thing. So no, so I do understand the fact that like of having affordable hosiery in your collection, especially when you wear so much. That obviously is a very big deal. So I 100% get
yeah.
that.
And it's like, and
Totally
I'm
get
and I
that.
and I'm active, and so it's like if I'm out doing something and like I snag a pair, it's like I'm not going to be upset at like this $15 pair that got
Yeah.
snagged. I can easily reorder the same color, or if like, but if I'm wearing a pair of Wolfords or like a nice pair of like CDRs or something like that,
Yeah.
that's a 30, 40, $50 pair, I'm gonna be really upset if
Mm-hmm.
or like rip it or snag it on something. I'm gonna be really upset, and knowing me and how I am as a person, that's most likely gonna happen. So I I'd rather just spend the $15 than spend the 50. You know,
Yeah. No, I hear. I love how you're like, I know what I'm like.
I I have a kid. And, like all the toys are hidden away from they're out of camera view, but like I've got chaos with a child, so it's like
Yeah.
a layer of like also don't want to spend the money because it can't be practical. So
No, I hear that. I hear that totally. So here's another question for you actually, because honestly, they just now keep coming.
yeah,
They just now keep coming. So, I wanted to ask, right? So this is also another topic that comes up a lot, right? And especially when I post on my socials, it can cause some uproar. So, in terms of men wearing hosiery here, right, or who identify as men, um, there's a whole debate between shaving your legs versus keeping hair. Now, I will say I'm a massive advocate for for either really. If anything, actually, I'm more like I'm with men with hairy legs because there's not enough people who root men with hairy legs.
Yeah.
And so because obviously there's a whole thing of no, you should shave. Whereas I'm very sort of, well, there's a lot of wearers that I know who are very hidden. And if they shave their legs, it's just gonna, there's a lot of questions that
Yes.
come with that, especially when, just say if their legs are exposed and it's like, what's going on here? So I understand all of that. Whereas a lot of people are very much no and are very hard no. What's your take on that? Because I'd love to hear.
So I've actually done both. So I didn't start shaving. Shaved for the first time my legs last year, and
Okay.
I was up until then I was never shaved. Always had hairy legs. Always wore, but most of the time it was also hidden. I didn't wear out as much with shorts and like really made it part of my fashion until the last few
Mm,
years. And then when I first started, it was like opaque tights, and you can't see hair through opaque. But last summer, I wanted to experiment. I'd never worn like shears out and actually like, so I shaved my legs in summer, wore shears. I will say they do fit better. They feel better. They don't
okay.
slip as much like on my body. Like I found that the nylon tends to stick to your skin better if you
Mm,
shave. Now that doesn't
okay.
matter for me. Like if I'm wearing like opaque tights or like semi-opaque, like they're going to move a little bit, but I found that whenever you do shave, like the tights stay in place more. Um, but
Okay.
my general opinion about men shaving and wearing, if you're going to wear shears in the summertime or shears at all, and you're going to wear them with shorts where they're going to be seen, and you want them to go unnoticed or less noticed, then I would say shave if you're able to, and your partner or wife or whoever is supportive. Then I would say shave because A, they're going to fit better, they're going to feel better, and they're going to be less noticeable.
Mm,
It's like I found like I've worn shears with like hairy legs, and I've noticed more people seem to stare. It might have just been where I was at or me being self conscious, but I felt that more people were looking than when I shaved and wore shears. But
okay.
maybe that's
Okay.
just me and my perception and like being like self conscious in myself.
Mm,
So, um, but I say do whatever makes you feel comfortable. Like if your partner's supportive and you want to shave your legs and try it, then shave your legs. I would say get it like go online and get like a decent razor though for like this made for like they make them now for men to shave their legs and like shave cream. I would spend the $20 for that stuff and
yeah.
do it, so it's done well and done right, and then try it out. And if you like it, stick with it. And if it's not something you're comfortable with, then I say don't. I personally like the way they feel with shaved legs. I haven't shaved in a while because I'll like just haven't because I'm lazy with that. Like it's a hassle. It's like I shaved the first time and like I was talking to my therapist about it. Like she was like, "Oh, your legs look great." Like and she knows I was wearing a pair of tights, and I was like, "Yeah, but this is such a hassle and a pain to like." I
Mm,
do appreciation for women and everybody else who shaves their bodies on a regular basis. Like this is an extra 20
yeah.
hour. This is hard work that I don't know if I want to do this all the time.
Oh, trust me, I hear you. I remember when, because obviously I get lasered now, but when I used to shave and wax, oh my God, you know what, it takes so much time. It's so much effort. And especially like coming from an Indian background, right? Like we're quite hairy people.
Yeah.
And so it comes back super quick. So after like a day of two of shaving max, it will come back and I'm like, oh great, now I've got to deal with the razor bumps. Now I've got to deal with like all the itchiness. Now it's like, oh my God, I can't wear sheer tights because of this. And I remember like there were days where I would like, there'll be a couple of like little hairs. I'm like, do you know what? I can't be bothered to do anything about
Yeah.
it. And people would just pick on it. And I'm like, can you just not? I'm
Well,
not in the mood.
that was me. Like I would shave, and then like I would notice like a little spot, like in this little tiny crevice of my leg that I missed, and
Yeah.
it would be so irritating because I would
They'd
just
be like,
focus like
why?
one little patch of hairs that I missed, and so yeah, it's a big
Yeah.
it's a big hassle. But if you want to do it and you're comfortable doing it, I say go for it. I mean, I've worn shears out, shaved legs, and like gone to restaurants and gone out, and if people look, they look, and the only reason they're looking is because they're like either jealous of your legs or they like the way your legs look, and they're going to keep staring. So it's like
Exactly.
there's something about you they like, and they're going to keep, if they look, it's because they're either jealous and wish they could do it,
Hmm.
or they want to touch your legs.
Yeah, yeah. Most like it might be that. Because I'm
Yeah,
not gonna lie, every time I see men wear, oh my God, and especially when their legs are just looking mighty fine, it's like hairy or not hairy, it's like I want to touch.
yeah,
Because your legs look so good, I want to touch you. I am one of those people. So no, I hear that. But no, 100%. I always say that to a lot of people. It's not about, oh, they're staring to make you feel uncomfortable or anything like that. It is very much that either very intrigued, or it is they love the way you look, or it is like, yeah, they want to touch.
yeah,
They look so good, they want to touch.
yeah. Or
Um,
or if like someone has like a judgmental, or if they are judging you, like I don't like. My dad gave me a great piece of advice like when I first started dating, and I've applied this to like everything in my life. He's like, the worst thing a woman will ever say to you is no. And
mm,
if you can apply that to your life however you want to, the worst thing anyone will ever tell you is no. And if you're okay with
yeah,
that little two-letter word, then everything's okay.
that is very true. Do you know what? I like, can I use that moving forward, Zach? Because I really like that actually. I'm gonna apply that to my life.
Yeah,
Because I'm one of those people where it's like, oh, really? You're gonna say no to me? Why?
yeah,
Can I ask you why? Can you justify the no?
yeah. And it's like if you're okay with the no, then the yeses are so.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I actually love that. Because I was actually going to ask you, because we're actually coming to time. And it's something that I ask everybody that comes on, especially on the first episode, is if you could leave a message or give some advice to those who are listening and watching, um, what would that be? And you've actually given some really good ones, like in today's little episode. But if you've got any more, oh my God, please share because I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I think that's my general life principle. Is just the worst thing anyone will ever tell you is no.
Yeah, I admire that actually because it is, yeah, not everyone deals with rejection and knows that well.
Yeah,
But I,
trust
I won't go into
me,
that. It's a whole thing.
I I'm not the best at it. I still have to remember that every
Yeah.
day, but yeah, it's like that's the worst thing anyone will ever tell you.
Yeah, no, I do. I love that. I actually love that. Um, but no, I just wanted to say thank you so much, Zach, for coming on. Honest to God, it's been great chatting with you. It's just not only have I done this for so long, so I'm super excited anyway, if anybody didn't know that already. But honestly, you've been such a great, like it's been so great chatting with you. And honestly, we will definitely have to get a part two in. And delve a little deeper. And obviously, I'll definitely have some more questions for you, regardless,
Yeah,
because it's just that's just how I am.
yeah,
But
sounds
no, I just really want to say thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for like I'd like just making the time to come on. It's been amazing having you.
yeah. Thank you for having me. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a long time coming. I think we started talking like last June about doing this, and finally, like,
Yeah.
and now it's like February. Now we're finally doing it. So
No, I know. I mean, better late than never. That's what I
yeah,
always say. But
that's
that's my little thing. Better late than never.
that's right.
Yeah, but oh, honestly, well, I definitely will say it was worth the wait. Like
Yes,
I hate keeping people waiting that long anyway, just because dates sometimes never work out. But honestly, in my eyes, like this was totally worth the wait. So thank you so
yeah,
much, honestly. And yeah, we'll definitely be getting, so everybody, we're getting a part two in. We'll be discussing dates, and it won't be next year. We will get the part two done this year.
sounds good.
100%. But no, thank you so much, Zach. I appreciate you and appreciate your time. And literally until part two,
Yeah, thank you.
anytime. Well, take care for now, my love, and I will see you soon.
You as well. Can't wait to talk to you again. Bye.
Bye.